Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to historic Melrose Memorial Hall and this evening's performance of the oldest continuously performing volunteer orchestra in America, your Melrose Symphony Orchestra. Under the direction of the maestro, Yoichi Udaga. At this time, we ask that you please silence all electronic devices for the duration of the performance. We remind you that audio and video recording is strictly prohibited, and we ask that you refrain from taking any flash photographs, as it is distracting to the musicians and annoying to everyone around you. For your safety, please take a moment to familiarize yourselves with the exits at all four corners of the auditorium. In the event of an emergency, please walk, do not run, to the nearest exit. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening, in addition to our traditional performing of the Star-Spangled Banner, the orchestra will be performing the national anthem of Ukraine. We dedicate this concert to the good people of Ukraine, and may they know peace. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the president of Melrose Symphony, Kathy Radler.
Thank you. Good evening. It's so wonderful to have you all here with us tonight for another fabulous concert. You're going to really love it. I say that every time, but you really will. We must thank the Melrose Bank Foundation for sponsoring our concert season once again. They have done it for many, many years, and we are so grateful and thankful for their support and their support. And you, our audience, you come to our programs even in these difficult times, and you support us. Some of you have supported us financially, and we thank you so much for all that you do for us. And our musicians, they're awesome. They love playing music, and they love sharing it with all of us. And we thank them so much for what they do for us.
Welcome, welcome everyone. What a blessing to be in Melrose, Massachusetts. You know how this is in America, right? Now we're starting off with the music of the French composer Louise Farren. How many of you have heard of Louise Farren? Okay, I didn't think so. I hadn't heard her either. So. One of our violists brought this piece to our attention, and it's a terrific piece, and we decided we'd present it to you. Now, Louise Farren was born in 1804, and she lived till 1875. She was French. In her day, she was a very famous pianist and composer, mostly writing for piano, and she was a professor at the Paris Conservatory. Now, this piece, the Overture No. 1, is an amazing piece. I don't know why it's not played more often, and I hope you enjoy it. But we thought we'd give you a quick introduction to it, since we were anticipating you had never heard of this piece. So like all great pieces, it has a very clear form. So repeat after me. Introduction. Introduction. Theme 1. Theme 1. Theme 2. Theme 2. Development, which we won't cover, right? Theme 1. Theme 2. Okay, now we're just going to play little snippets of it so you can hear each of those sections. Okay, here's the introduction. Theme 1. Theme 2. Listen over there in the clarinet for theme 2. Following so far? And then there's this big middle section called the development, which we're not going to cover. And then here's theme 1 again. Following so far? Okay, now here's theme 2. So, as we play this overture, I hope you'll be able to follow. You can use those as a marker to kind of help you understand where we are in the piece. Okay? This is the Overture No. 1 by Louise Farren. treat. Before we start the first piece, Eva's going to talk to you about the second one. But before we start the first one, just a quick note, right? It's called Danse Sacrée et Danse Profane, right? So loosely translated, sacred and secular dance. And it's for string, orchestra, and harp. This is one of my favorite pieces growing up, but one of the things I could never figure out was which dance was which. This is played without break. Alright, so, for those of you who might have the same kind of problem I did at that time, we're just going to play you the opening of the Danse Sacrée, the sacred dance, and the secular dance, so you know where they are. Okay? Alright, so here's the beginning of the sacred dance. Here's the profane, secular dance. And he was thinking of Greeks here in Debussy's mind. So this is Danse Sacrée, sacred, and Danse Profane, secular dance by Claude Debussy.
figure out the pedals on this harp, I guess I can figure out the microphone. So I was asked to say a few words about my instrument, because it's a rather unusual one, and it's even rarer to see it in front of the orchestra. You usually see it more in the back. So this beauty here, my love, the love of my life, and the instrument I fell in love at first sight. It's quite interesting, and I wanted to share a few details. First of all, as you can see, it has 47 strings. You probably can't count them, but you see that there's a lot of them. And they also have different colors, and the colors help us navigate throughout the range of the instrument. And then we have the beautiful ornamentations and all of these interesting details with the mechanisms. They say they have about 1,600 parts in them, in these harps. So I'm not sure if that's an accurate number, but that's what they say. And then finally, we have the pedals, my favorite. And we have 7 pedals. I'm going to turn it around just so if you can see a little bit. But we have 7 pedals for every note of the scale, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then every single one of these pedals has 3 positions. One for flat, another one for natural, and the third one for sharps. Okay, so why do we have the pedals? Is because we don't have chromatic strings in the harp, we only have the diatonic ones, so C, D, E, F, G. And the pedals help us change the pitch. I will demonstrate very quickly. So I will play the same string, and then I will change the pedal with the same name. So I'm playing a C string in the original pedal position. Alright, so I play the same string, but the only thing that happened change-wise was my foot moving my pedals. These pedals are very complicated, and so this is the ultimate model of the harp development that took over like many centuries. This model is called double action harp. It was created in 1810 by a French company called Harp. Now, even though we still use this particular model double action harp nowadays, it doesn't mean it's ideal. So people are still attempting to make a new type of instrument that would be easier to play. And so that's what happened in 1904 in Paris, where a company named Pleo developed a harp that had no pedals, but 2 rows of strings. So then they would cross-string, so the harpist would have to play looking at strings for both sides. And it was called a chromatic harp. In order for them to advertise this new instrument, they commissioned a famous composer, Claude Debussy, to write a piece for that instrument. And that is what you just heard, the Debussy dances, which we played a few minutes ago for you. As you can see, I played the piece for you on the pedal harp, not the chromatic harp, because that was too complicated of an instrument. Having said that, a year later, the competitor of the Pleo company, Harp, decided to respond by commissioning Maurice Ravel, another famous French composer, to write another piece for their harp, the pedal harp. So a year later, Ravel came back with the beautiful introduction Allegro, which was intended just for 7 players originally. A string quartet, flute, viola, flute, clarinet, and harp. But eventually, people have expanded it to an orchestra with the soloist as a harpist. So that is the story of 2 famous composers working with 2 companies who were in a race to help this beautiful instrument develop and become easier to play. So that's the short story. I tried to make it as short as I could. It's long, but I hope you enjoy it.
How are you enjoying the concert so far? You guys are wonderful to play for. Now we're going to finish the concert with Saint-Saëns' Organ Symphony. All right, and there are many unique and interesting things about this piece, but I'm just going to point out two of them. First of all, it's got an organ in it. Right? The funny thing about it is that it plays at less than half the piece. All right, so you'll hear. I remember, again, as a kid, I was not a very smart kid. I listened to records of the organ symphony and I'd be like, where's the organ? The other thing is that if you look at your program books, it'll say that it's got two movements in it. Right? Usually, when you see symphonies, it's got four movements. It's usually fast, slow, fast, fast, something like that. Right? And in this, he wrote only two movements. But the fact of the matter is that within each of the movements, he wrote two big sections, right? So it's fast, slow, fast, fast. So it's really four movements, although it says it only has two movements, right? Now, there's a connection between the organ and then these sections, right? Because one of the things that Saint-Saëns does is that he uses the organ to delineate each of the subsections. Right? Are you following me so far? Right? So in the first movement, here's the end of the first big section and beginning of the second section. And when you hear the organ, you know, it's in the second section. We just want to demonstrate that for you, okay? Here's the second movement, and between the end of the first section of that and the second section, which is actually the third and fourth movements. Are you following me so far? I'm glad you are, because I'm completely confused.
Scam artists are pretending to be IRS officials to get your money. They'll call, email, or text you, claiming you owe back taxes or there's a problem with your tax return. They even rig caller ID to make the call look official. They play on your fears. They threaten to take your driver's license or sue, arrest, or deport you. They want you to pay fast. What's the truth? The truth is the IRS's first contact with you will always be a letter in the mail. It's not a phone call, email, or text message. They won't insist that you pay with a prepaid debit card, a wire transfer, or cashier's check. Now you know. Has an IRS imposter contacted you? Report it at ftc.gov/imposters.
You can't turn your computer on or off. It's acting up, running slow, opening pages you didn't click, displaying pop-ups constantly. There's a good chance your computer's been hacked or infected with a virus and needs your help. Stop shopping, banking, and entering passwords online until your computer is cleaned and restored. It's inconvenient to be sure, but it's a necessary step to prevent the situation going from bad to worse, from hack to horrible. Update your security software. Install a new version from a reputable company. You can use your phone or another computer to check reviews of security software. Tech blogs and retail sites usually post them. Choose carefully. Scammers sometimes advertise security software that's malware in disguise. Make your decision. Get back online and download the software. If the security software finds malware, it flags it for you. Delete the suspicious files and restart your computer. If you're still having problems, contact your computer manufacturer or other tech support and find out what else you can do. Once your computer is back to normal, change the passwords you've been using for your bank accounts, your email accounts, and all your other important accounts. The safest route is to choose and use passwords that have upper and lowercase letters, as well as numbers and symbols. And finally, make sure your operating system and internet browser are set to update automatically. You want to keep your computer operating at peak performance. Visit onguardonline.gov to learn more.
A teacher was what I always wanted to be. I got my doctoral degree in early childhood education. My husband and I had a wonderful marriage, and I lost him in September of last year. I got a call from someone who indicated he was from Medicare. They told me that they needed my Social Security number, they needed my bank account number for new Medicare cards. I told them I was not giving them the information and hung up the phone.
There were thousands of consumers affected by this scam. They told consumers that if they didn't provide this information that they might lose their Medicare benefits, and they implied that that would happen pretty quickly.
They called back and I continued to refuse to give them the information, but they would transfer me to someone else who would give me the same pitch they were giving me. I just wanted them off the phone. I gave them the information they wanted.
These telemarketers are professionals. They know what buttons to push. They know what to say to get people to provide their information. If you receive a call from a government agency, be very skeptical. Government agencies don't call consumers to ask them for money. They don't call consumers to ask for personal information.
I think it is very important that all of us continue to learn about scams.
Because of consumer complaints like the one we received from Dr. Bowers, we were able to go into federal court, get a freeze on the defendant's assets, and shut the company down.
I was so glad to even hear that they did win the case and shut the people down.
Scam artists are pretending to be IRS officials to get your money. They'll call, email, or text you, claiming you owe back taxes or there's a problem with your tax return. They even rig caller ID to make the call look official. They play on your fears. They threaten to take your driver's license or sue, arrest, or deport you. They want you to pay fast. What's the truth? The truth is the IRS's first contact with you will always be a letter in the mail. It's not a phone call, email, or text message. They won't insist that you pay with a prepaid debit card, a wire transfer, or cashier's check. Now you know. Has an IRS imposter contacted you? Report it at ftc.gov/imposters.
If you have a telephone, robocalls may be ruining your day. I'm Katie Daffin, an attorney at the Federal Trade Commission. If you answer the phone and hear a recorded message instead of a live person, it's a robocall. If the recording is a sales message and you haven't given your written permission to get calls from the company on the other end, the call is illegal, period. So, when you get an illegal robocall, here's what to do. Hang up the phone. Don't press 1 to speak to a live operator, and don't press any other number to get off the list. If you respond by pressing any number, it will probably just lead to more robocalls. You might consider contacting your phone provider and asking them to block the number and whether they charge for that service. Remember that telemarketers change caller ID information easily and often, so it might not be worth paying a fee to block a number that will change. Finally, contact the FTC to report your experience. You can do that online at ftc.gov or by calling 1-877-FTC-HELP. To learn more about illegal robocalls and what the FTC is doing to stop them, visit ftc.gov/robocalls. That's ftc.gov/robocalls.
No, I'm not a doctor, and I don't even play one on TV. I'm actually an actor hired by the Federal Trade Commission to show you why it's best to use a healthy dose of skepticism when you see ads for cancer cures. Scary and cruel as it is, there are companies set up to take advantage of people with cancer, promising cures that aren't proven to work and may even be harmful. If you or someone you care about has cancer, the last thing you need is a scam. What's the first thing you need? To talk to your doctor. He or she can tell you about any risks of the product and how it might affect your ongoing treatment or any medications you might be taking. Next, be skeptical of claims for cancer treatment products that you see on the internet. You'll hear about supposedly hot products like Black Sal, Laetrile, and Esiac-T, and how they can provide relief for your symptoms or even a cure for the disease. Other things to be aware of: the word natural. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean safe and effective. Natural can be harmful and ineffective. One size doesn't fit all. All cancers are different, and no one treatment works for everybody. Even two people with the same diagnosis may need different treatments. Now, exactly how do these scams work to earn your trust? They use testimonials. They seem real, but testimonials can be completely fake. I looked like a doctor, right? And those patients you see, often actors paid to endorse the product. They use technical jargon, a lot of it. But scientific talk doesn't guarantee scientific proof. Big words from a medical dictionary are no substitute from the plain facts from your doctor. The bottom line about treatment is always talk to your doctor. For more information on how to spot phony cancer treatments and supposed cancer cures, visit ftc.gov/curious. You'll also find sources of information that you and your doctor can trust.
Light bulbs are getting more efficient. They use a lot less energy to give you the light you want, which means you'll pay lower energy bills. Better light bulbs also mean a better way to shop. You're probably used to buying light bulbs based on watts, but watts only tell you how much energy a bulb uses, not brightness. If you want to know how bright a bulb is, you need to think lumens. The more lumens, the brighter the light, no matter the bulb. A traditional bulb uses 60 watts to produce 800 lumens, but this bulb delivers 800 lumens using only 15 watts. All these bulbs use different amounts of energy, but produce the same amount of light. How do you know which one to buy? To help you decide, Light bulb packages will have a lighting facts label. It'll tell you a bulb's brightness and an estimate of its energy cost and lifespan. So the next time you shop for a light bulb, look for the lumens and the lighting facts label. It's a bright idea.
Shopping for a car? Applying for a job? Looking for a home? Or just getting your financial house in order? Then it's time to check your credit report. Good news, it's free. The law entitles you to one free copy of your credit report from each of the 3 nationwide credit reporting companies every 12 months. Why is it important to check your credit report? It has important information about your financial accounts, how you pay your bills, and if you file for bankruptcy. You want to make sure everything is accurate, especially before you buy a house or a car, or apply for a job. If you notice something wrong, contact the credit reporting company and business providing the information to correct the error. And checking your report can help you guard against identity theft. Visit ftc.gov/ID theft if you spot accounts that aren't yours. How do you order your free credit report? Order online from annualcreditreport.com, the only authorized website for free credit reports, or call 1-877-322-8228. You'll need to provide your name, address, social security number, and date of birth to verify your identity. Keep in mind, you're entitled to one free copy of your credit report every 12 months from each of the 3 nationwide credit reporting companies. So the next time someone asks, "How's your credit?" you'll have the answer. To order your free credit report, visit annualcreditreport.com or call 1-877-322-8228.
Would it surprise you to learn that millions of computers in the US are infected with malware? That's a lot of computers. So, what's malware and why should you care? Malware, short for malicious software, includes viruses and spyware that get installed on your computer or mobile device without you knowing it. Criminals use malware to steal personal information and commit fraud. For example, they may use malware to steal the login information for your online accounts, or to hijack your computer and use it to send spam. An infected computer can lead to serious problems like identity theft. The good news? There's a lot you can do to protect yourself and your computer. One of the most important steps you can take: install security software from a reliable company and set it to update automatically. The bad guys constantly develop new ways to attack your computer, so your software must be up to date to work. Set your operating system and your web browser to update automatically too. If you're not sure how, use the help function and search for automatic updates. Don't buy security software in response to unexpected calls or messages, especially if they say they scanned your computer and found malware. Scammers send messages like these to trick you into buying worthless software, or worse, downloading malware. What else can you do? Use a pop-up blocker, and don't click on links and pop-ups. Don't click on links or open attachments in emails, unless you know what they are, even if the emails seem to be from friends or family. Download software only from websites you know and trust. Free stuff may sound appealing, but free downloads can hide malware. Make sure your web browser's security setting is high enough to detect unauthorized downloads. For example, use at least the medium security setting. Even if you take precautions, malware can find its way onto your computer. So be on the lookout for these signs. Your computer runs slowly, drains its battery quickly, displays unexpected errors or crashes. It won't shut down or restart. It serves a lot of pop-ups, takes you to web pages you didn't visit, changes your homepage, or creates new icons or toolbars without your permission. If you suspect malware, stop doing things that require passwords or personal info, such as online shopping or banking. Use a different computer maybe one at work or at your local library, to change your passwords. Update your security software and run a system scan. Delete files it flags as malware. If you can't fix the problem on your own, get help from a professional. Your computer manufacturer or internet service provider may offer free tech support. If not, contact a company or retail store that provides tech support. Keep in mind, the most important thing you can do to prevent malware is to keep your computer software up to date. And remember, it's easy to find trusted information about computer security. Just visit onguardonline.gov, the federal government site, to help you stay safe, secure, and responsible online.
Telemarketing fraud is a crime that affects millions of Americans every year. Telemarketing scammers will say anything to commit fraud, even if you're the one initiating the phone call.
Hi, I see you're responding to our ad for a guaranteed line of credit. We believe that everyone deserves a loan. However, we do charge a small processing fee in order to get your application in the system. All I need is your bank's routing numbers. They're at the bottom of a check.
I was thinking of starting a business, but I didn't have the startup cash. My credit isn't so hot, so I thought this would be a great way to get the money I needed. I didn't realize it was a scam. Now I know better. Hello.
Mr. Johnson, we've got a credit card for you guaranteed.
Look, I'm not interested. Don't call me again, or I'll report you to the FTC.
Telemarketing scams usually start with a phone call, but they can also start with an online ad or a piece of mail.
I clicked through an ad on the internet and filled out a form. It seemed legitimate. They called a few hours later and said people like me were making lots of money with just a small investment. They said it was easy to get started and their business experts were just a phone call away. I didn't know they were a fraud. I still get calls for bogus business opportunities. I must be on some sort of list. But now I know better.
I understand you want to make money from home.
I'm not interested. Goodbye.
The Federal Trade Commission and your state attorney general are working hard to stop telemarketing fraud. You can help. Recognize, report, register. First, learn to recognize the signs of telemarketing fraud, like callers who ask for money first, or who want to know your bank account, credit card, or social security number. Scammers may even have your billing information before they call you. Often, they're trying to get you to say okay so they can claim you approved a charge. Second, if you have been scammed, or you think someone is trying to scam you, report it to the Federal Trade Commission. It's as easy as going to ftc.gov and clicking on the link on the right. It's more helpful to the FTC if you can give the name or phone number of the company that called you and the date they called. Third, join the millions of Americans who have registered their phone numbers on the National Do Not Call Registry. It's easy. You can register online at donotcall.gov. Be sure to complete the process by clicking the link in the confirmation email you receive. You can also call toll-free 1-888-382-1222 from the number you wish to register. And remember, although telemarketing scammers may seem friendly, they're anything but. They're trying to worm their way into your wallet. You can stop them by keeping your information to yourself, no matter how tempting the offer. Let's say goodbye to fraudulent telemarketers. Visit ftc.gov/phone fraud to learn more about how to recognize and report telemarketing fraud.
If you have a telephone, it probably seems like illegal robocalls are out of control. I'm Katie Daffin, an attorney at the Federal Trade Commission. If you pick up the phone and hear a recorded message instead of a live person, that's a robocall. Consumers are getting more and more robocalls, and they are not happy about it. As the number of calls has multiplied, the number of complaints has too. The reason for the spike in robocalls has to do with technology. Companies are using auto dialers that can send out thousands of phone calls every minute for an incredibly low cost. What's important is that the companies that use this technology don't bother to screen for the numbers on the National Do Not Call Registry. If a company doesn't care about obeying the law, you can be sure they're trying to scam you. You've probably gotten robocalls about candidates running for office or charities asking for donations. These robocalls are allowed. But any robocall that's trying to sell you something probably is illegal, unless you've given your written permission to get calls from that company. The FTC has stopped billions, yes, billions of robocalls in the last 2 years. Tracing these calls is a tough job, and there are a few reasons for that. One is that many different companies use the same or very similar recorded messages. Another is that they fake the caller ID information that you see on your phone. That's called caller ID spoofing, and new technology makes it very easy to do. And a third is that the robocallers often place the calls through internet technology that hides their location. At the FTC, we're continuing our aggressive enforcement efforts, and we're also looking for innovative technological solutions to the robocall problem. For more information, please visit ftc.gov/robocalls. That's ftc.gov/robocalls.
Identity theft happens. It's an unfortunate fact of modern life. But there are certain steps you can take to help keep your personal information from falling into the wrong hands. Every day you do things to protect what's most important to you. And you know what? You do them almost automatically. Routine things like looking both ways before you cross, brushing your teeth, and buckling your seatbelt. Another routine to get into is keeping tabs on your identity and personal information. Here are 5 easy ways you can do it. Read your credit card and bank statements carefully and often. Know your payment due dates. If a bill doesn't show up when you expect it, look into it. Read the statements from your health insurance plan. Make sure the claims paid match the care you got. Shred any documents with personal and financial information. Review each of your 3 credit reports at least once a year. It's easy and it's free. And before you know it, protecting your personal information can be as routine as locking your doors at night. For more tips and tools on dealing with identity theft, visit ftc.gov/ID theft. That's ftc.gov/ID theft.
So how was work?
It was 1,300 hours. My math class from 302 was in the trenches. Davy Roth had it the worst. Fractions were coming at him left and right. He just didn't get the damn things. 2 days ago, I tried to teach him what 1/4 of 1/2 was using different sizes of blocks. Yesterday, I tried again by dividing up pizza. Both missions failed.
Oh no.
But today, I was ready. I created a combat math game where the only way to beat the enemy is to out-fraction them. Davy conquered every last denominator. My game was so successful, the principal is deploying it to math squadrons all over the school. Anywho, how was your day?
Oh, today my boss treated the office to salad wraps.
Salad wraps.
I know.
I'm worried about climate change in so many different ways for my kids that I might start crying if I dwell on it too much. I think that if we've come together, pretty much anything is possible.